Hey there, it's Megan Andrew, and I am so excited to be the Altenew guest designer this month. Today I'm going to be playing with the Painted Butterflies stamp set, and you can see here that these butterflies are built with different colors and outlines, creating a beautiful painted butterfly effect. I have two photos here of my daughter. These are 3 inches by 4 inches. She is holding a butterfly on her arm at our local museum, and I've already stamped a few different of the painted butterflies on the layout. I'm using a background paper from the Live Your Dreams scrapbook collection. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I thought it would work really well with the colors in my photos. I'm just going to trim this down to 8.5 by 11 inches. Add my photos back. So my idea is to have my butterflies flying from the bottom left corner up to the top right corner and around my photos. And I'm going to be following the colors in the background. This is a great way to add stamped images to your scrapbooking layout, but let your background paper guide you for what you want the colors to be. So I'm just going to add my next butterfly here, and there's a little bit of a blue section underneath my second photo on the right there. And so I'm going to try to match up this butterfly with that blue area. So I already have a few different pink butterflies on the left side there. Just going to stamp this twice just to make sure that blue is really showing through. That's one thing that I love about clear stamps, is that if you don't do it right the first time, you can always go back and re-stamp it. So there is a die that matches this set. I actually don't have it, but it's not hard to fussy cut these butterflies out. Not a problem at all. Takes a few seconds to do. There we go. So there is my butterfly. He's kind of it's a side profile of the butterfly. He's flying to the right. What I'm going to do over the top of him, you can certainly just add the outline of the butterfly right on the background, but what I want to do is add a different texture with vellum, and that vellum is also going to soften the blue color. You can see there quite a bit, because right now that blue is really standing out on the background. It doesn't look like it really matches that beautiful watercolor background. But once I add the outline in vellum, and I'm stamping here with a permanent ink, it's going to really soften that blue color. So I'm just going to cover up just so I don't get it all over my hands and smudge that up, and fussy cut this beautiful butterfly out. Want to be sure that I get his antenna. Look at how pretty and soft that is. Vellum is such a great thing to use when you want to soften colors a bit. I love to use vellum on page backgrounds when they're just a bit too bright, if they're taking away from my photos. There we go. And I'm just going to put that over the top of the blue there. And when I do that, it really blends perfectly into that background. I'm going to add some glue dots here to adhere my vellum onto the blue background, just in those black areas so that you won't really see it. I did use liquid glue on the pink butterfly, the large one at the bottom, and it warped the vellum quite a bit, so I'm going to stick with glue dots from now on. Another thing you can do here is just use a bone folder and gently curl up the edges of your butterfly, just so you add even more dimension. Now over here there's some yellow. I want to add a pretty little yellow butterfly right in that yellow section. The hardest thing here is just choosing which butterfly to use because there's so many gorgeous little butterflies here. I'm going to give you a closer look at putting this little butterfly together. So that's your background color. Now there are different steps on this butterfly, but because I'm going to layer it with another vellum layer, I'm not going to add the additional colors in there. I'm just going to stamp on the vellum. This one is so cute and pretty. I love how sketchy the outlines of these butterflies are. They're very, very artistic and pretty and very light. They don't add a lot of weight to your page. So I have my pretty little yellow background there, and I'm just going to add this vellum layer to the top with some glue dots, and again kind of curl up the edges of the butterfly, and look how perfectly that blends into the background. It's the perfect match. Just having that vellum to soften the color a bit really helps. Next, I have another pink area that I'm going to add a butterfly to. I've got my scrap cardstock here. I always keep pieces of smooth white cardstock around for just such an occasion when you just need a little bit of space to stamp something. And I'm just matching up the second stamp for this butterfly. And I started with a light pink, so I'm going to move to a bit of a darker pink. There we go. And I'm going to fussy cut that guy out. Okay, so I have my pink butterfly. I've also added 2 more blue butterflies to the right side of my photo. And for my last butterfly, I want to do another big one. And at the top of my layout, there is this beautiful navy section. So I'm going to go dark with this guy. Look how beautifully that stamps. So pretty. And again, I'm not going to add the color on top or the second stamp of that butterfly because I'm going to do another vellum piece to the top just so that softens that up, because if I left that as bold and blue as that would be the first thing that you noticed on my layout. And I want to be sure that my photos are the first thing you look at. So that softens that navy color quite well. Just going to go ahead and fussy cut this guy out as well as my vellum and add those together. So just another couple glue dots here. And then I will have my last butterfly. Perfect. So, so pretty. I love the mix of butterflies flying in different directions, in different colors, all going around my photos. It's just really perfect. I love the way that that turned out. Now I want to add a bit more embellishment as well as my title. I'm grabbing the Live Your Dream scrapbook kit, and that's the same kit that I have my background paper from. These clear stickers are really fantastic. They're all kind of florals, botanicals, different leaves, but I love that they're all such bright and pretty colors. And when you layer them on top of this pretty painted background. Look at how gorgeous that is. It looks like that leaf was always on that background paper. It blends right in. So this area here is kind of a beige neutral right above the yellow. So I'm going to add in these light tan leaves there. This is just adding a little bit more dimension to the background, a bit more interest. And then I have these blue leaves here. I'm going to add those right at the top left right corner. And those can be covered up a bit by your butterflies because it's just adding a different layer, a bit more dimension to your layout. Remember that you don't have to leave them all the way exposed. So I love the way that that looks and that turned out. Also have lots of chipboard pieces as well that have different botanicals in them. I also have a pack of die cuts as well that I'm going to go through. The chipboard piece at the top says remember this, and I thought that that would be perfect for adding right there to the top, and the colors match up perfectly. That pink chipboard piece is another great addition. It adds a bit more weight to the bottom of my horizontal photo there. Now I'm going to add my title down at the bottom as well as my journaling, but I want to go ahead and lay out my title so that I can see how much room I have for my journaling. Now in this painted butterfly set there are sayings included which are perfect for cards or as title starters for your layout. So this one says just saying hello. I love to mix up the fonts and sizes for my title. So I'm going to stamp just saying directly onto my layout background, but then I'm going to add the word hello with these gorgeous Live Your Dream alphabet stickers. And these are beautiful and puffy, and I love the way that the black looks against that colorful background. So now I know where I want my journaling to be placed, and I went ahead and added that with my computer and printed that out onto my 8.5 inch by 11 inch sheet. That's one thing I love about creating 8.5 by 11 inch layouts is that you can print your journaling directly onto your layout background. Just adding my left photo here using dimensional adhesive, and of course my foam sticker gets stuck on my right photo, but it didn't leave any mark, which is great. So I'm just adding these photos back here. And I'm going to start adhering my butterflies. One thing I like to do before I move anything, once I have the layout the way that I like it, I take a photo. And then I have that photo on my phone for when I am adhering everything back together. So that's a really good tip. If you get your layout the way that you like it, take a photo just so that you know how to adhere everything back down again. Some of these I am directly adhering to the background, and some of them I'm adding using dimensional adhesive. I'm going to move this little pink butterfly a bit higher there. And I'm going to use dimensional adhesive for my yellow butterfly here. Super pretty. Now you'll notice some of the butterflies I did not add the last step to the outline because I wanted them to be a bit more abstract and I wanted you to really see that bright pop of color. That's one thing I love about this stamp set is that it's versatile enough that you can just kind of wing it. You can do what you want in terms of the layers on it. So there we go. My butterflies are all down, just curling up my vellum there just to give it a bit more dimension. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my alphabet stickers right back down over the top of my journaling. The last thing I want to add is a bit more embellishment. I'm going to get those pink leaves down using dimensional adhesive, and I have those tucked underneath of my photo. This is the Live Your Dream buttons, and I'm just seeing if I can make any of these work in here, or if they just feel a bit out of place. And I think that I just want to keep it to the colors that fit on the layout. I love adding the wood veneer just next to my title, kind of that neutral area. And I'm going to add a heart at the top there. These are the Our Family enamel dots. And I'm going to just add a few around the layout just to match the colors in the layout, which is quite easy to do. I love that the Altenew scrapbook collections pair so well together. I'm using embellishments from a different scrapbook collection and it still looks great with this one. So that's my layout complete. I really loved working with this painted butterfly stamp set. The butterflies turned out to be gorgeous, and whether you use one stamp or layer up 2 or 3, they still look beautiful. And adding that bit of vellum over the top just really added more dimension and interest to the page. This recorded such an awesome memory for our family, my daughter having a butterfly land on her arm. And it really created such a gorgeous layout using the Altenew Live Your Dream scrapbook kit and painted butterfly stamp set. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to follow me at Meghann Andrew for more of my videos.